real estate investing surfing lessons? Hi, I'm Phil Pustiowski with Freedom Mentor, and in this video, I'm going to take you surfing with me. And hopefully you can learn a little bit about real estate along the way.
So we're going to go back and forth between the ocean and the classroom with these real estate surfing lessons. The first one is in getting started. Getting started. That can be a real challenge for surfers. What I mean by getting started is getting past the break, actually getting to the point where, or the place where you can actually catch a wave. Now in a moment here, I'm going to take you out there in the ocean and show you what it feels like to be getting started, trying to get past the break. But the same is true for real estate investors. If you're first getting started, it can feel like real slow going, like you're taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back, because there's so many little things that you need to learn. Things such as just the language, the lingo of real estate investing, understand the different terminology, understand just a bunch of the little things so you can even get to the point where you can actually do your first deal. Or in the case of surfing, you can actually surf your first wave. So let's get out there to the ocean and let's take you out there, what it feels like to try to get past the break but not know what you're doing.
All right, I'm going to try to get past this break here. Watch out. You all right? You good?
Okay, so you've made it past the break. All right, now the next thing is positioning. Positioning. You have to position yourself to be able to catch the wave. And if you position yourself too far back, you don't catch the wave. And if you position yourself too far forward, you can actually go over the falls and take a really big wave over the head. And we'll show you that here in a second. Positioning is also very critical in real estate investing. What I mean by positioning for real estate investors is you want to be the one in control of the deal. You want to be the one that has the contract directly with the seller. Oftentimes what happens is when people are first getting started, they're not in the right position. Either there's already a real estate agent representing the seller, so they're in the position you want to be in, or maybe a wholesaler has gotten to the deal before you did. Either way, that's bad positioning. Let's take a look at what bad positioning looks like in surfing. Okay, so that's what bad positioning looks like. You take a big wave over the head. All right, now let's talk about the next lesson, which is timing. So even if you have the right positioning, you have to time it right. When you're surfing, you have to time the speed of the wave. So if it's a bigger wave, oftentimes you're gonna have to paddle harder. In this case, I'm using a stand-up paddleboard, so paddle it harder than if it's a smaller wave. Now, in real estate investing, timing is critical as well. Because if you get to the deal at the wrong time, even if you are in the right position, it doesn't matter. Perfect example would be if a property is about to go to foreclosure and it's like 2 or 3 or 4 days away from the auction date. This does happen because sometimes sellers get really motivated a couple of days before the auction date and they start crying for help. Well, that's bad positioning. That's bad timing. It's bad timing because there's not enough time left in the deal to really make it happen in most cases. Another example of bad timing is if the deal is already on the MLS. That means other agents already gotten to the deal before you have. Not only is it bad positioning, but it's bad timing. Now, it may come off the MLS over time. Maybe it doesn't sell, so it becomes an expired. So now the timing is good again. So it's not like a deal is going to stay bad forever. You might want to follow back up with it. So that's where the value of following back up with some of your deals can be. Sometimes you talk to a seller and they're not completely motivated, but a month later everything changes. So it's about timing as well with real estate investing. And the same is true with surfing. Let's take a look at what bad timing looks like. so let's take stock of where we are. You've gotten started, you've gotten past the break, you got the right positioning now, you got the right timing now. The next thing is about deal selection. It's about selection. This is huge in surfing and huge in real estate. You have to choose the right deals, because you know some deals, if you are to follow through on them in real estate, they can be really dangerous to you. The same is true of waves. And also with selection, sometimes you can work really hard. You can have gotten the right positioning, the right timing, but the deal was never meant to make any money, meaning there's just no real profit in it. No matter how hard you work, how hard you try, how bad you want it to make money. And the same is true as waves. Sometimes the wave is just not going to be a good wave to ride. It's just a bad selection to jump on that deal or jump on that wave. All right, so you're taking a surfing beating right now. And yeah, that's what it can feel like when you're making a lot of mistakes. Okay, the next thing is going to be balance. Number 5 is going to be balance. Obviously, balance is critical in surfing. But what I mean by balance in real estate is even if you do have the right positioning, the right timing, you do select the right deal, you then have to handle that deal wisely from start to finish for it to close. Because if you don't, you're going to fail. And the same is true in surfing. If you lose your balance, you're not going to be able to finish off that wave. But when you put it all together, when you have the right positioning, the right timing, you select the right deal, and you have the right balance, it all comes together. So how do you get to the point where you are successfully surfing waves? Well, you've gotten past the break, you've positioned yourself correctly, you've timed the wave correctly, you've chosen the right wave to catch, and you've maintained your balance throughout the ride, correct? Now, how do you get to the point where you're good at all these? Well, you could do it the hard way, right? The school of hard knocks. You get out there and have a bunch of waves pushing you back as you get out past the break. You could basically follow what you see on this video: bad positioning, bad timing, choosing the wrong waves. And through all this, through enough experiences, if you get out there long enough, you take enough waves over the head, you swallow enough salt water, you're eventually, assuming you don't drown, you're eventually going to get it figured out, right? And the same is true for real estate investing, right? So you can get out there and cause a lot of problems, make a bunch of mistakes, but if you do it long enough, you'll eventually figure it out, right? Well, isn't there a better way? Well, yeah. And what is that better way? You get a mentor. You get somebody to show you what to do. I got people to show me how to surf. You get people to show you what to do. And they'll show you shortcuts. Like showing you the shortcut to get past the break. If you got a short board, you have to duck dive. And if you've got a long board, you can actually flip the board over and the wave will come up underneath the board. So there are shortcuts here. There are shortcuts to positioning, shortcuts to timing. There are ways in which you can choose which waves to get on based on ocean, the behavior, and all these things right here. It's a shortcut if you just learn from somebody who's already learned all these lessons the hard way. Does that make sense? So real estate investing and surfing have this in common as well. And that is the best way to learn is to get a mentor. All right, well, if you'd like to learn more about working with us, we have an apprentice program. We're very selective, but it's worth a shot to try to apply. You can apply just below this video. I have a link to our apprentice program application. There's an application process, interview process, all that great stuff. But hey, it's worth a shot. And if you don't get in, don't feel bad, because we're not a very big company and we don't have all that many openings. But the key here is that there are two ways to learn this process, and there's the easy way and the hard way. And I vote you go the easy way. And I hope you enjoyed this video on real estate surfing lessons. I'm Phil Pustiowski with FreedomMentor.com. Thanks for watching.